Gettysburg, Pennsylvania is known by many to be a hotspot for negotiating activity. In parts in American Civil War, when the Battle of Gettysburg is widely accepted as the most brutal and bloodiest of any infighting to ever take place on American soil. Hauntings at Cashtown Inn have their own story, with the death toll reaching around 50,000 troops. It's easy to see why such a large number of ghostly sightings take place here every year. Numerous homes and businesses claim to be inhabited by spirits, some friendly and some malevolent. The Cashtown Inn is largely considered to be the most haunted location in all of Gettysburg. But how did it get that way? And how did a simple inn ever get the name Cashtown? Built in 1797, the Cashtown Inn first innkeeper was a gentleman by the name of Peter Mark. By 1815, Mark acquired the tavern license and soon began offering rooms and board out his quaint little inn. Mark had a stiff policy of only accepting cash from his patrons, and thus the inn soon became known as Cashtown. So popular was the name among locals and tourists that the town in which it resides would promptly follow suit. Like many other businesses that were around during the American Civil War, the Cashtown Inn was taken over by Confederate officers and used as a general headquarters. Once the war hit Gettysburg, and any and every establishment was fair game for Confederate forces to occupy and make their own. During the Gettysburg campaign in the summer of 1863, Confederate troops began marching the streets of Cashtown and the surrounding areas. Cashtown Inn's new innkeeper, Jacob Mickley, witnessed the incoming military unit, saying, "The entire force on the lead patch within 20 feet of my room. Filling the roadways were the Confederate soldiers of Lieutenant General A.P. Hill, flying their red banners and armed with swords and bayonets." Soon Mickley found himself in the inn, crawling with Southern horses. The market in the second time in less than a few years that Cashtown would be invaded by the rebels. Just a few months prior, in 1862, the Confederate cavalry had occupied Cashtown under the command of General James Stewart. Nearing the end of June of 1863, Colonel Lee and his Confederate men had freely made their way into the southern Pennsylvania. Due to the Union forces advancing to the north of the Potomac River, Lee advised his officers to assemble all their troops and hold at Cashtown. Cashtown was strategically located directly in Lee's supply in Virginia, which served to be advantage for Confederate forces. Soon, Point Cashtown was overran with legions of rebels, and Mickey found himself serving many an unwanted guest. As one of the oldest taverns in the area, Cashtown Inn prided itself on its welcoming outside strangers and travelers since 1815. On the night, however, the inn was crawling with sorts of whom Mickey didn't agree. Of these invaders were Confederate generals like A.P. Hill, John M. Vernon, and Henry Heath. At this juncture in their travels, General Hill, suffering from a chronic disease, and needed a secure clean place like the Cashtown to rest his weary bones. And the inn had a reputation of having faculties for daily bathing, comfortable beds, and peaceful neighborhood. From here, General Hill could better plan the Union attacks while taking advantage of luxuries that the Cashtown has to offer. Also helpful to the soldiers was the inn's two large fire-brick ovens down in the cellar. The Confederates would bake massive amounts of bread daily, refining seemingly endless supply of food for their troops. Almost overnight, Cashtown saw their troops formed into an army camp with only a mere 8 miles separating the inn from the war. Military activity was heavy because of this. The simple errand caused in the battle come to Cashtown. General Hill had sent General Heath's division to Gettysburg and get shoes and supplies, but his men were attacked while en route, relieving where they were stationed. Colonial Lee had positioned hundreds of supply wagons, cannons, and cartridges at Cashtown. Now they were ripe for the picking. With injuries well into the hundreds, Lee quickly used any transportation he had to take with his wounded men back to Virginia. Not long after, General Vernon ordered all remaining soldiers to equipment out of Cashtown and to Virginia. Once the last of the important troops retreated, peace finally returned to Cashtown. During the Confederates' time at the inn, injuries and deaths reached into the thousands. Gunfire, fighting, surgeries, amputations, and everything in between permeated Middle Cashtown Inn. While the upper portion of the inn was used for planning Union attacks, its basement was utilized to become a makeshift hospital. Many wounded soldiers would enter and seek medical treatment, with some never returning to battle. It's from the many amputations performed here at the Cashtown Inn that it's haunted and lore. Some limbs were said to be abundant that they piled high enough to cover the basement windows, blocking even the sunlight from entering. In recent years, Cashtown has gained much attention from paranormal investigators and ghost hunters. So much so it was a subject of season 4 of Ghost Hunters episode, The Fear Caves. The inn was even featured on a silver screen in the movie Gettysburg, starring Sam Elliott, who stayed at the inn during filming. The current owner of Cashtown Inn has collected of photographs appear to be evidence of the paranormal entities at play. These pictures show strange orbs of light and frightening skeletal figures. Guests who have stayed at the inn often complain of loud banging on their doors at night, lights turning on and off without explanation, and even doors locking on their own. In what certainly the most bizarre of all the ghost encounters, there have been some guests who have claimed returned to their rooms with their luggage have been all packed all on its own. A couple reported hearing footsteps in their room, along increased knocking on the door. Once the knocking stopped, footsteps walked right up to their bed and stopped at the foot of it. Suddenly the mattress began to shake compressed as if ghostly entities was pushing on it. Freaking out, the couple lay perfectly still and watched in horror as the mattress began to ripple, similar on how water is affected by a pebble being thrown onto it. The woman felt something grab her shoulder when it was not her husband. Ghostly apparitions are said to appear in greater numbers around the dates of July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the same dates as the Battle of Gettysburg. In recent decades, the Cashtown Inn sadly began to deteriorate after nearly 200 years of operation. Not helping matters, a major riot was constructed that the Cashtown was to be nearly forgotten, as easily overlooked by the tourists passing through. Falling further into despair, the Cashtown Inn was even at once considered to use as low-income apartments. Thankfully, the former owner's sorrows and heirloom luckily restored the inn to its previous splendor, and researches in its paranormal investigating has put Cashtown back on the map. Today, it is featured in original 4 rooms, but also has 3 suites named after Confederate general from the infamous Battle of Gettysburg. Now, and much-loved hotspot for those interested in all things otherworldly. The Cashtown Inn once again thrives, with locals and tourists alike who hope to catch a glimpse of many Confederate spirits said to habit the location. Now, I have never been to the Cashtown Inn, as strangely as that sounds, like the many times I've been to Gettysburg. I'm not sure if I would stay at Cashtown Inn. I would love to, but I would definitely love to investigate. And I do remember it being on the episode with Ghost Hunters. It was creepy, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm sure I'm saying this of every location with Gettysburg right now, but I'm not lying, it really was creepy. But anyway, thank you for watching my channel and videos. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Haunting, and this is Cashtown, and I will speak to you later. And until next time, pleasant dreams.